Okay, you guys are going to have a test later this week. Graph the systems of equations and solve, okay? So what you're going to do, first off, make the little wall, okay, right there. Is the y by itself? It is. So you label MB and put a 1 under that 4 right there because that's your slope. So remember where the B goes. The B goes on this line here. It's plus 3, so I go up positive 1, positive 2, positive 3. Okay, then from there I go up 4, forward 1. Okay, so up 4, forward 1. Can't do it again, so I take the ruler then and make that line. Okay, make a line through those 2 points. Okay, now in the second equation the y is also by itself, so I put a 1 in front of the x, and that's my m, and I'll put a 1 under it, and then my b is minus 2. So again, on the b line, the one going, that's like your y-intercept, so you go down 2, and then you go down 1, forward 1, okay? So I go down 1, forward 1 this time, because it's negative 1. Okay. And take your ruler and make that line as straight as you possibly can make it. Okay, where do the lines cross? You mark a point where the lines cross, right there, okay, and circle it. Now, this is what you ladies were having problems with when we did it, is identifying, labeling that point. Put your pencil in the middle, and how far, you're going backwards, so this is going to be a negative. How many squares do you have to move backwards? You have to move backwards 1, so negative 1. Then, do I have to go up or down? I have to go down. So that down is a negative, and I go down 1. Okay? So there it is. When you move forward and up, it's positive, but backwards, negative. So again, I'll repeat that, okay? So the x, I have to move backwards 1, so that's how I got negative 1, and then I had to move down 1, so that's negative 1. Okay, number 2. You're doing the same thing. Make a wall on that side of the equals. Is the y by itself? No, it's not, okay? So you need to go to the scratch paper, rewrite that so you can do your MB. Because right now you can't, okay? Put a 1 in front of the x. So circle the y, okay? Circle the y just like that. Make sure it's positive. It is. If it's not positive, you got to switch all the signs, but it's positive too. Now we got to get rid of that minus 1x, so I would plus 1x. And then over here I put a plus 0x, so I have a place to put plus 1x over there. So we have 2y. Do your x's first. Don't write that 2 down. You're going to do your x's. 0 plus 1 is 1, so 1x, then plus the 2. Now, you're going to divide everything by 2. So I will have y by itself now, okay? Now, 1 divided by 2 is going to be a decimal. So if you get a decimal, just keep it as a fraction, 1x over 2, because that's your m. Then 2 and 2. 2 divided by 2 would be 1, okay? And that's your b. So now, on our paper, we got plus 1. So that's my b, remember that. Then from there, I go up 1, forward 2, okay? So up 1, forward 2. Up 1, forward 2. That is the purpose. If you see your y is not by itself, you're going to go to your scratch paper and rewrite the equation. You've done that before, okay? All right, so now I take my ruler and make the line, okay? Now, that's first equation. Now here's the second one. This one, the y is by itself, so I don't need to go to the pink paper. So MB. So M plus 1, oh, I already got a point there. Then my M is 1/2, so that would be up 1, forward 2. It's the same exact line. When it's the same exact line, it's IMS. Okay. Okay, problem number 3. Here's the first equation. Is the y by itself? No, it is not. Okay, so I go to my scratch paper. 4y equals 8x plus 8. So I circle my y, but there's nothing outside of it, so I go right to the dividing. I don't have to move the x. I just divide everything here by 4. So that would be a y. 8 divided by 4 is 2, so that would be 2x. There's your m. Put a 1 under it, because you need your m to be a fraction. If it's not, you put a 1 under it. Then 8 divided by 4 is 2. Okay, and then a b under that. So plus 2 is my b. Okay, so from there I go up 2, forward 1. And then again, okay? Okay, now in the other equation, the y is by itself, so I put an MB label right away at the y is by itself. So this time minus 1 is the b, so that would be down 1. Then I go up 2, forward 1. Okay, look at those lines. It looks to me like they're going to run parallel, meaning they're never going to cross. They're like railroad tracks, okay? So railroad tracks is no solution. No solution. NS. Okay, you can put the pink paper away. You don't need that, okay? Now, you need to solve this next equation. You're finding the x and y, and you need to solve it using the substitution method. That's where you have to find a letter that's all by itself, okay? Right there. And that's called your base. Circle the other side. Now, what I do then is write out the other equation. 3y plus 4x equals 14. So the y is my base, so I take the base out of the equation, and I replace it with 2x minus 3. Okay, so we have 3 plus 4x equals 14. Okay. Now I'm going to solve for x. I'll solve for x first because that's the letter I have now, and y second. So I distribute. Okay, if you want to make that plus negative 3, that's fine. So 3 times 2x is 6x, and 3 times negative 3 would be negative 9, and then we have the plus 4x after that. Okay, the x's are on the same side, so you're going to make a v, and you're going to add those. Okay, so what's 6 plus 4? That's 10. Okay. Okay, then getting the x by itself, so a negative 9, it's like a minus 9, I'd plus 9, and I get 23. And over here I have 10x. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 10. And 23 divided by 10 is 2.3. That's your x, okay? Now I'm going to solve for the y. Well, if we need the y, let's use the one where the y is by itself. Y equals 2x minus 3. So I put 2.3 in for the x, and then I can solve for y. Okay. So I take 2 times 2.3 minus 3, that's 1.6. Okay, so if you get decimals, it's okay. Now, number 6. All right, now we have a little problem here. We don't have a letter that's by itself. So what I do instead then is underline it and write add. Okay. Now, see if these will add to 0. 5 plus 3, nope. Negative 6 plus 6, boom, that's 0. So I can take that out, and we know that that's 8x. In the other place, I'd take negative 32 plus 48. That would be 16. Then I divide both sides by 8, and x equals 2. So I have found the answer to x. Now, use that top equation. You can use this one or this one. I'll use the top one. Now, I've already got my answer for x, so let's replace the x with 2. So what do I do with 5 and 2 now? I times them. So 10 plus negative 6y equals negative 32. So now I have to get rid of this 10. So after that, then I'll be able to divide by the negative 6. So I would minus it. So negative 32 minus 10 is negative 42, and then you divide both sides by negative 6. And negative 42 divided by negative 6 is 7. Okay? So 2, 7. Okay, number 7. Now here, try to add them. 6 plus 7 is 13. Negative 3 plus 4, nope, that's not going to work. So, and minusing them won't work either, okay? So now you're going to times. So 7, 7, 7, and then 6, 6, 6. So 6x times 7, that'd be 42x, minus 21y, and then 15 times 7 is 105. Now the bottom, you're going to have 42x, plus 24y, and then 10 times 6 is 60. Now let's try to add them again. Well, that's not 0, but it doesn't add to 0. But Melinda, you'll subtract. Remember we said if adding doesn't work, subtract. Haley, I think the way you do it is you switch the signs. Positive, negative, negative. Okay? So I add, I take negative 21 plus negative 24, that's negative 45y. Over here I take 105 plus negative 60, and that's 45. Now I divide by negative 45, and that's negative 1. So that's your y answer. Now to find your x, you just insert the negative 1 into the equation on top. And for y, though, y is negative 1. Now be careful when you do this. When you times, it's negative 1 times negative 3, okay? And that's 3 plus the 6x. And I get rid of the 3 by subtracting. That's 12, and then you got 6x. Now I divide both sides by 6, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. Okay, 2, negative 1. Okay, story problems. At a concession stand, popcorn costs 50 cents more than pretzels. Remember, more than means plus. The concession stand sold 96 bags of popcorn, 48 pretzels. They made $336 total. What's the total cost of a bag of popcorn and the cost of a bag of pretzels? So you got 3 units. All these problems you're going to be making your table. Okay? So together, how many per and total. All right, so, and then you're selling popcorn and pretzels. And then dollars per, dollars total. So what's your money total? $336. That's the only one you have. You just have one total. Now, find me numbers that have nothing to do with money. You've got 96 bags of popcorn, 48 pretzels, and then together you can add those, and that's 144. So now cross out those numbers. Now, the cost per. The only thing we know about the cost per is popcorn's 50 cents more. Popcorn's more. So with popcorn, put a plus 0.50. and you always get rid of this. Now, when you put the plus, you don't use y, okay? You use x and x, okay? So 48 times x is 48x, and then here we put a parentheses, and we distribute 96. You got to multiply 96 times both of those, okay? So with that 50 cents more, you put a plus 50 cents in the one that's more, and then you can just use x and x. So 96 times x, 96x. Then I can't, don't just write down 0.50 and don't plus them, you times them, okay? Here I'll even put dots, that means you times 48. Okay, now this is the only equation we're going to need, okay? So 96x plus 48 plus 46x equals 336. Then I make my v, that's 144x when you add them, plus the 48 equals 336. Then I minus 48, and that's 288. And then I divide by 144. 288 divided by 144 is 2 on the dot. So find where the x is by itself in your table, and you now know that pretzels are $2. Now to find the cost of the popcorn, take 2 plus 50 cents is $2.50. Okay, $2.50. Okay, next one, number 10. A student sells small and large greeting cards. The small cards cost $3. Large cards cost $5. Student sells 25 cards. They make a total of $95. How many of each type of card were sold? So you have 3 units, small, large, and dollars. So together, how many per total? And small and large. So what's the money total? You have one money total, it's $95. So now find me some non-money numbers. How many small? Well, how many large, and then together? Well, it says 25 cards, but it doesn't say they're small or large, so it's together. And the small and large I don't know, so if I don't have anything to put there, I put X, Y. Okay, how much a small costs? $3. The large costs $5. So it's going to give us 3x and 5y. So we have this equation here, but on top we also have another equation. So now I need to make my cross. Okay. So I put x plus y equals 25. Put 1's in front, and then 3x plus 5y equals 95. So right now I can't add or subtract and get 0. So I have a 3, we're going to times 3 on top, and a 1, we're going to times 1 on the bottom. So you're going to get 3x plus 3y equals 75. In the bottom, you're going to get 3x plus 5y equals 95. Okay, adding them won't work, but you can either subtract them or you can make them opposite and add them, okay? So that crosses out. 3, that'd be negative 2. Whatever you do, you're going to get the same thing, okay? Because one of you did minus, the other one makes them opposite and adds, so that's fine. Negative 20. Either way, it ends up as negative 2y equals negative 20. Then I divide by negative 2, and that is 10, okay? So here's my y by itself, that's 10. So 10 large. And then I'm going to put 10 into one of these equations here. It'll be the same thing no matter which one you pick. So we got 10 is y. I got to take 1 times 10. That's 10. Plus 1x. Minus your 10. That's 15. Divide by 1, you're still at 15. So 15. Okay, one more to go. A website allows users to download individual songs or entire albums. One person downloads 5 songs in one album and pays a total of $14.94. Another person downloads 3 songs in 2 albums and pays a total of $22.95. How much does it cost to download a song? How much for an album? So you got 3 units. And then how many per total? So dollars per, dollars total. Okay. So you got songs and albums. Okay. Okay, what's your total cost? I think there's 2 of them. You got $14.94 and $22.95. So you're going to put both of those down here because you're going to have the 2 equations now line up down here. Okay, now I put them on money numbers. So I've got 5 songs and 1 album. And I put 3 songs and 2 albums. So that's going to make 6 and 5 when you add. Now, what do they cost? We don't know. We don't know anything about it. So you're going to put X, Y, and then put a couple of them so you have something to multiply by. So you're going to have 5X and 3X, and then 1Y and 2Y. And now you do it just like you did the last problem. You've got 5X plus 1Y equals 14.94, and then 3X plus 2Y equals 22.95. Okay. Now you're going to need to multiply because you can't add them to 0, you can't minus them to 0, so you got to multiply by 3 and by 5. So 5x times 3 is 15x, 1y times 3 is 3y, and then I get on a calculator and I take 14.94 times 3, it's going to be 44.82. In the bottom we get 15x plus 10y. 2295 times 5 is going to be 114.75. Okay, can you add them this way? No, you can't. Now, one of you likes to just minus them, okay? One of you likes to change the signs opposite, okay? Either way it works, okay? Because you're going to get negative 7y here. Because watch, if I go 44.82 plus negative 114.75, that's what I get. If I just take 44.82 and minus 114.75, I get the same thing, okay? Okay, 9.99. Okay, so that's the Y, so the Y is your albums. Now to find your X, okay, the songs in this instance, you put $9.99 in for one of those. So Y is so 1 times 9.99 is 9.99 plus 5x, okay. And I minus them, 4.95, then I'm going to divide by 5, and that's my answer for X. 0.99. Alrighty.